Back to the Landers from the 1970s embraced and now carry on the traditional ways of the Ozarks. Meanwhile, descendants of early settlers confront the challenges of a country that would rather forget them. Together and alone, they face the complex issues of the 21st century.
So we homeschool in the mornings. We do family devotions together where all the kids sit, and Joe reads from the Bible, and we have the kids read from the Bible as well. And we learn scripture together, and we sing together.
Let's say it again. For we are God's handiwork.
For we are God's handiwork.
Created in King Jesus for good works.
Created in King Jesus for good works.
Which God prepared in advance for us to do.
Which God prepared in advance for us to do.
Good job.
All right, well done. Okay, we'll do some tea, and then I'll read you guys some poems.
Tea. Sir, can we put our...
No, this is the toaster one. Says, a silver-scaled dragon with jaws flaming red sits at my elbow and toasts my bread. I hand him fat slices, and then one by one, he hands them back when he sees they are done. We do what's called Tapestry of Grace, which is a homeschool curriculum for teenagers. So once a week, there's 6 teens that come to our house, and we go through history and government and philosophy.
Okay, now I want you to be angry. We the people
of the United States of America form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility.
And it's just great to be able to have them try to make connections together that they wouldn't make through Socratic discussion and asking questions, those kind of connections that you wouldn't make on your own.
Well, we are one of the poorest counties in the state. There's not a lot of opportunity. It's been said that our 2 major exports are timber and high school seniors. So a lot of them have to leave because there's really not a whole lot of opportunity. You know, we don't have a lot of industry.
This last year we had 8 grandsons hunting during hunting season.
Oh, yes. So
yes,
that was,
on the ranch.
Yeah.
So it was filled with hunters.
Yes.
We had to plot out land. We had to, okay, you can
Yeah.
be on these so many acres and you can only shoot in this direction, and
we
then
had
we
to
swapped
schedule
them.
them
It was
totally
scheduled.
and
So
kind
they
of
all thought
oversee
they were
them.
being fair.
And
True,
deer
fairly.
season used to be, for me, like you saw in the film originally. It was a place to get away and a place to have fun and hide out. And we have a deer camp with a gentleman over by Summersville. But now, with all the grandkids, deer season is scheduling, making sure they don't shoot each other, and not what it used to be as far as my time off and things.
But they love it. They just love it. I mean, last year several of them got their first bucks and stuff, you know, and it was just, they were excited.
They are a bit spoiled, and you'll find that with all the people that grow up around here, you know, as far as appreciation. What they have, they grow up with, and they don't realize until you get out somewhere else that the rest of the world is not like what you have in Shannon County. Shannon County is just a really neat place to be if you're outdoor orientated.
All right, now we got the tags. We're about ready, I think.
It's a beautiful day. And this is always fun to watch them. Every single one of them is good at it. This has been a tradition in the Ozarks for a long time. A lot of families depend on it. It's their meat source.
Well, when I left there, Dale Williams pulled me over. Was the city marshal at the time. So he pulls me over here at the almost out of town here, and he says, what are you doing driving, son? He could tell I wasn't 16. And I said, well, my dad sent me to town for groceries and stuff, and I just had to get some gas and get them back home to him. And he said, well, if your dad, my dad, they called him the Big Bopper, and he was rough. And he said, well, if your dad told you to come to town and get home, he said, you better hurry up and get back home. And just walked back, got in his car, and I drove off. I was like 13, 14. I don't know what I was. But I always remember that. That is what I used to love about this town, too. You won't do that these days.
I used to work hard. I never stopped from daylight to dark. When I was young, I worked. Enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I used to hit where I looked, but I don't do that no more. The eyes have got too bad glamour. Old age comes on, and you've had sweat in your eyes where you worked in hay and where you hewed ties. And
well, this is a unique area, and he knows the history for sure. Old Jerry, he's going to give you the lowdown down on this part of the flare. So, and they know it. He does all the signs and stuff up down in the creek. So he marks them all, which is very helpful for people. I don't think he ever did leave the creek, did he? Other than come up here and get groceries?
He left for a little while one time. I think he said he was gone one time for about 48 hours.
Off the creek.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to Dad and Uncle Henry down there one day, and I asked, and they both went to school down there at Cedar Point, on down Blair down there, you know. And I asked Dad, I said, Dad, how many years did you go to school down there? And he said, I went 5 years. And Dad he could read and he could write, but not real good on either one because they only had five years of education. But and I asked Uncle Henry, I said, Uncle Henry, how many years did you go to school? And he said, I went 5 days and I had to go back to work.
You know, the other big thing that changed this country is closing the open range. You know, they had hogs, they had cattle, you know, all over southern Missouri, and the range was closed in 1965, so rather recent. Now there's a feral hog problem that's started up that they're trying to get a handle on, and I think a lot of people would admit it. The riverways, for example, I know people are a little down on the Park Service a little bit all the time, you know, rules and regulations, but most of them will come down to it and say if it wasn't for them, it would be far, far worse because they are protecting our rivers.
There he is, buddy. There he went, buddy. The grade kind of guided me here, buddy. Got him? There he is. Wow! The yellow sucker, guys. That's wow!
It's individualism. Rustic individualism down here is so prominent to me versus other parts of the country that I've seen. Sheer will to carve out your own life. I mean, you come down here, it's an open book. The pages are blank and you can rewrite your own story